Stick around. Hi, everyone. It is Black Spring again with you on your Friday, and I'm going to get you in and out of here. But, I just kind of wanted to play a couple of, I wanted to look at a couple of lines and a couple of reports on, actual the recession denial. Can I call that recession deniers? I'd also have a clip from Charles Payne, who actually is on, I guess he's on Fox News, I guess, but I think he is I guess a bit of an economist himself. And I thought maybe we could get into that a little bit. But hang tight real quick, and I will be right back. All right, guys. So we're back here. So what I want to do is, of course, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing well. It is indeed a Friday, and I'm so glad you decided to, burn a few minutes here with a Black Spring on this Black Spring report. So we're going to just get this in real quick. And all right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I want to jump right in because I'm not going to take up a ton of your time. We're going to get into this first, get into a couple of reports here. And then I might play a little bit from, I guess they're going to call us recession because they're the recession deniers. They love to wordsmith. So yeah, we don't believe what we're told. We believe what we see. So we'll deal with that as it comes. So I'm going to share a report with you. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time to tune in. Okay, so I this first liner that we're going to deal with is going to come from, we're going to have one from the Business Insider, and then the second one is going to come from, it's It's going to come from the Market Watch. Yeah, and these reports are, less than, 48 hours, less than 72 hours, but I think still valid. So let's go with the Business Insider first. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to give you full scale on this so that you might follow along at your leisure. All right, let's just get into the report here. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Let's get going here. All right. All right, so let's let it go. Let's let it burn here. All right, according to this on a Business Insider, that there is a wave of layoffs. A wave of layoffs is sweeping the US. Here are firms that have announced cuts so far from Shopify to Tesla. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. Of course, you see Elon Musk pictured here. All right, so let's go with the top. From the top, layoffs are sweeping across American businesses in 2022. Peloton laid off thousands of employees earlier this year. Real estate firm Remax slashed 17% of its workforce. Even traditionally layoff-resistant companies like Netflix have made cuts. And now companies that saw a pandemic-era boom like Shopify are cutting hundreds of jobs. The reason, broadly, is twofold. Business growth is slowing while labor costs are increasing. Combination is causing American companies across a variety of industries to slash headcount. Here are some of the most notable examples so far. So this is from the Business Insider. Okay, Shopify, as you can see here, is documented at 1,000 workers. Okay, Shopify plans to lay off roughly 1,000 employees, equivalent to 10% of its workforce worldwide. The Wall Street Journal reported in a memo to employees. CEO Toby Luke said that the company, which makes the tech that powers businesses' online stores, had bet big on pandemic-era e-commerce boom. Quote, "It's now clear that bet didn't pay off. Ultimately, placing this bet was my call to make, and I got this wrong." Luck wrote in the letter, which was posted on the company's website. Okay, at 7-Eleven, 880 jobs. Okay, you guys, we could talk about some of the effects of this in just a second. I'm sure you guys have your own story. Maybe I'll put the pendulum out. Convenience store chain 7-Eleven cut 880 corporate jobs in Ohio and Texas following the company's purchase of rival Speedway in 2020. A 7-Eleven spokesperson told Insider that the company has been assessing its new corporate structure and undergoing a, quote, integration process, end quote, that led to the cuts, which will take place at its support centers and field support operations in Irving, Texas, and Enon, Ohio. Vimeo, 6% of its workforce. Okay, the video hosting platform Vimeo cut 6% of its staff in July. Quote, "We are making this decision in order to ensure we come out of this economic downturn a stronger company," end quote. Vimeo CEO Anjali Sood wrote in a blog post, quote, "Our people are what makes Vimeo great, and losing any of them is a personal failure that I feel deeply. But after reassessing the challenging market conditions and uncertainty ahead, I believe this is the responsible action to take," end quote. Tesla, 229 employees. Okay, Tesla laid off 229 employees, 229 people in late June, according to WARN filings. The layoffs primarily impacted employees in its autopilot division. Tesla also closed an entire office in San Mateo, California, and moved some of the office's workers to another location, Bloomberg reported. The cuts came after CEO Elon Musk said in early June that he wanted to cut jobs and that he had a, quote, super bad feeling, end quote, about the economy. Rivian, potentially around 5% of its workforce. So you can see, this is going on and on, Uh, some of these companies, of course, I'm not aware of all of the companies. Let's see, hang on a second. So let's see. Just take a quick second here to say hello. Hi, Angry Conservative. Reasonability says giving my daughter a bath and getting ready for bed. Just wanted to stop in and say hi. Thank you so much for coming in. But I just wanted you guys to, have a little bird's eye into some of these layoffs that are in the making or have already occurred. Now, Rivian, I'm not familiar with it, which is apparently it's an electric car maker. Rivian is planning hundreds of layoffs after growing too quickly, Bloomberg reported. Rivian has more than 14,000 employees, and the layoffs could result in about 5% of the workforce being cut. While these cuts are still in the planning stages, Bloomberg reports that they will most likely focus on non-manufacturing positions. So there's your electric car market. GoPuff, 10% of its staff. Not familiar with GoPuff. If you guys are familiar with these, let me know. A delivery startup, GoPuff, will lay off 10% of its staff, according to an internal email obtained by Insider. Quote, as a business during these uncertain times, we owe it to our investors and customers to accelerate our timeline to profitability. As such, we have decided to confront the current moment by making difficult decisions about our core business, end quote. Co-founders Raphael Ilshayev and Hikir Gola wrote in an email to employees. The latest round of layoffs come after GoPuff cut 3% of its workforce, or more than 400 workers in March. And then this time period, this is a side note or a footnote here. A lot of people have related to this as the Great Resignation, and it was a great time for, you can go work for a startup company, and a lot of businesses have done quite a bit. They took on a lot more. They brought on more, personnel, and when you grow too fast, I think this is, it's not. I don't think it's uncommon. I don't think that's a new. I don't think that's a new symptom of, of the job market or companies, that are ambitious or over ambitious. I think it's kind of, par for the course. But of course, they're going to look for everything other than the truth. Okay. So, and here we go with Remax at 17% of its workforce. Okay. A real estate firm, Remax, will lay off 17% of its workforce by the end of the year. So they are projecting layoffs as well. It's not just those that have passed and those that are present. This is the scope. We got a full scope of layoffs. Okay. The cuts will primarily affect employees in the technology division, the result of a, quote, shift in strategy, end quote, as it partners with a third-party technology vendor, Remax said. Microsoft, less than 1% of employees. Okay, Microsoft announced in July that it was cutting a, quote, small number of employees across several groups, including consulting and customer and partner solutions, a company spokesperson told Bloomberg. JP Morgan, over 1,000 workers. In June, JP Morgan confirmed that it would lay off over 1,000 employees in its home lending department. The cuts came amid a slowing demand for mortgages and refinances. Quote, our staffing decision this week was a result of cyclical changes in the mortgage market, end quote, a JP Morgan spokesperson said in a statement to Insider at the time. Quote, we are able to proactively move many impacted employees to new roles within the firm and are working to help the remaining affected employees find new employment within Chase and externally, end quote. Okay, Compass, 450 employees. So, yeah, it just goes on and on. Redfin, about 6% of total employees. So, you've got this whole liner, it encompasses the whole, this is a huge umbrella that this falls under. So you have the real estate brokerage, Redfin here, is conducting layoffs. I won't read them all, but Coinbase, about 18% of its workforce. Let's see, it's just a ton here. Carvana, about 2,500 people. What else do we have? They're planning to cut 12% of its staff, or about 2,500 employees. The online car dealer announced in a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Let's see, Reef, about 750 people. See, some of these companies I'm not familiar with. A lot of them are tech, but I'm not sure. Better, about 4,000 people. Noom, 495. You get the drift. Peloton, over 2,800 people. Thrasio, I'm not familiar with that. So you see, I mean, you can kind of see this is Robinhood, more than 300 people. Yeah, you kind of see that it's kind of trending in a way. Hello, Mad Militant. How are you? Angry conservative Dr. Fish is here. So I just wanted to see, wanted you to see that. I kind of want to cross-reference one other article there, but let's get out of that one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So yeah, I want to look at one other, but it's all the same. You've got signs showing that something, and to some people, is worse than it's much worse than that. I'm going to give you a perspective. I'm going to let somebody else talk to you about that. But MarketWatch.com, says Shopify stocks tanks amid planned layoffs and slowing e-commerce growth. So let's have a look at that, and then we'll hear from a economist or someone that's, I think slightly less biased. Okay, I have two. Let me know if you guys can hear me, because I think I have two things going here. Okay. All right. So let's get ready to share. All right. So let's go to the Shopify. All right. So here. All right. This is Shopify stocks tank amid planned layoffs and slowing in e-commerce growth. All right. Shopify Inc. Shop is planning to lay off around 10% of its workforce as it admits that e-commerce growth hasn't continued as robustly as expected. The Wall Street Journal first reported the news Tuesday, citing a memo to staffers. Shopify confirmed the details in a blog post. The layoffs are expected across the company, but are expected to especially hit the recruiting, support, and sales teams. The company plans to notify employees of the decisions Tuesday. Chief Executive Toby Loop took responsibility for overly optimistic e-commerce projections in his memo to staff. Shares of Shopify were more than 12% in pre-market trading Tuesday. The company, which is due to report second quarter results before Wednesday opening bell, has seen its stock sink 73% so far this year, as the S&P 500 SPX has declined 70%. So see, this is kind of looping you back into, some of what we had discussed before. I mean, of course, I've heard some other things. That, some of these stores, Walmart and they overstocked on goods. And I'm like, well, if that's true, why are the shelves so empty? Look, the shelves are still not back to where they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're not. So I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that that's what's going on there. Okay. So really quickly here, I want... how about let's have something comical here, just for kicks. I thought this is kind of it's a good one. It's just, you cannot count on people to tell the truth. You cannot. It's not going to happen. So just hold fast, and as I think Peter Ducey that kind of brings it, that kind of just gives it to her straight, or either he, she's going to come undone. I'm just saying, it's nice. It's nice, to see somebody ask a real question, or at least ask a question that, says, okay, explain this. Let's have some balance here. Can we do that? Can we just do that? So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. But I just wanted to see what you guys were thinking. You know, if you're believing what you're told rather than what you're experiencing at the pumps. I don't know. I have to ask these things. I really do. So I'm going to bring you to, and this one's kind of funny. Um, so I'm going to be right back and show you that, and then I'm going to get us out of here. I hope you guys are doing well out there, and hang on tight, and we will be right back. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. So, I kind of want to bring you a particular clip that talks about, of course, it's going to be, it's just the denial of this whole status and the definition changes. It just gets to be, I'm not even sure. I don't know how much more can we take of this. I don't know, and I can't tune in religiously or faithfully. Let's put it like that. I can't do that, but I can't deny that this should be irritating to people on some level, like, right? I mean, these people just get up and lie to your faces, like, yeah, so what? It's another lie. I tell you one lie so I can. If I tell one lie, I got to tell another one. So get used to it. That's what you get. So I don't mean to take too long. So actually, I'm going to show you one while I look at this. Actually, this is a piece of McGlover here. Let's see. I'm just going to show you this one here. It's very brief. I appreciate you guys so much. It's the shortest way to get you there. It's the shortest way to get you there. Hi, Samoan Watchman. How are you? So we're gonna share this screen, and then we're gonna go over to we're gonna go over to somebody. We're gonna have, just we'll show you a perspective here that I want to look at. That's not it. Sorry for the delays, guys. Sorry for the delays. It's just so many things going on right now, and here's the other thing. This is just a sidebar, but I really care less about Will Smith, issuing an apology about that silly slap I heard around the world. I mean, really, we got 99 problems, and that's not one. Okay, so let's give you the full screen here. So here's the clip right here. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
If things are going so great, though, then why is it the White House officials are trying to redefine recession?
No, we're not redefining recession.
If we all understand a recession to be 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth in a row, and then you have White House officials come up here to say, no, that's not what a recession is. It's something else. How is that not redefining recession?
Because that's not the definition. That is not the definition.
Oh my gosh. But you know what I mean? It's just, I don't even know if it's funny anymore. It's irritating. I think it's pretty irritating. I do. I don't know what you guys think. But here, let's have another take, and then we're gonna wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys so much for coming in And hallelujah, the Samoan Watchman. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. So we're going to have a little bit here. I just like to see what these people are saying, what the talking heads are saying. I don't have favorites anymore. I don't. I just try to take it all in. So we're going to go to the second quarter data and what it suggests and hear from Charles Payne on this one. Okay. And here he's featured on Fox News, but I think that is his domain of competence from what I understand. So let's have a listen here.
Inflation that's raging and an American people who are in pain, regardless of how you look at it.
Yeah, and listen, the White House is really hurting themselves tremendously by telling people, don't worry about how you feel. This is how you're supposed to feel. I think Jared Bernstein was half right, though. Yeah, we have the headwinds of inflation, but we don't have those tailwinds he's talking about. That strong consumer, that consumer spending number, I'm still going through the historic data. I didn't get back to where it was. Last quarter at 1.8%, that was the lowest since the fourth quarter of 2019. Business investments, not what it was. And it's coming down really dramatically. And I got to tell you, Dagan, we are going to get a jobs report real soon in the next month or two. That's going to be dramatic. It's going to fall off of a cliff because all the signs, the tip up in initial job claims and some of these other reports, it's right there. And as far as the unemployment rate, let's stop using that. When people drop out of the labor force and the unemployment rate goes down, that does not reflect a healthy jobs market. In fact, just the opposite. What's ironic? In this last jobs report, no one wanted to talk about the fact that 250,000 Black Americans dropped out the labor force and 166,000 lost their jobs. Real people in this economy are getting crushed at this very moment, and we need real answers. No more public relations, accept what's happening so maybe we can deal with it.
Kevin Hassett this morning said, stop the propaganda coming out of the White House. And the Biden administration, of course, working all week to redefine what a recession is, downplay it. Fed Chief Jay Powell yesterday said this.
So the Fed doesn't make a judgment on that. We don't say there is now a recession, that kind of thing. So that if you think about what a recession really is, it's a broad-based decline across many industries that that's sustained for more than a couple of months. And what we have right now doesn't seem like that. And
the clown car of spin is chock full of them. Listen to this.
How worried should Americans be that we could be in a recession?
We're not going to be in a recession.
This is not an economy that's in recession.
We're not in a recession or in a pre-recession at this time.
The data over the second quarter is not consistent with an economy in recession.
The evidence is strong. We're not in a recessionary period. And
if things are going so great, though, then why is it the White House officials are trying to redefine recession?
No, we're not redefining recession.
There's an
Okay, guys, I just had to let you see because here's the thing. I don't know what the school of thought is when you're trying to manipulate people. Everything is a freaking spectrum, okay? So it's easy for you to fall into redefining words and meanings, and it doesn't matter what's happening in people's lives or how those decisions or poor decisions affect people's lives. It's just we're the experts and, we know what's best. And, oh, no, that's not what you're seeing. Wait for our definition. And I know, with what they're doing, can you even really rely on any of these sources anymore? Many of the sources, of course, I'm not referring to Wikipedia. Wikipedia was already there. But the Merriam-Webster's and, some of these other sites, if the people that are assigned or selected for these positions can't tell you the truth, then do you really have a chance? You'll be silenced or censored, but do you really have a chance to get to the bottom of it? But you know what you see, you know what you experience, but they're telling you, it's not what you think it is. It's not. There's no feet hanging out from underneath the rug. What are you talking about? So I just thought I'd share a little bit of the lunacy with you guys on your Friday evening. And yeah, just want to say thanks so much. I'm going to say hi to everybody that's in the stream, and then I'm going to let you go because, you know, the numbers, the layoffs, and I think there's more that are going to come. Now, what I was alluding to earlier was I think that, of course, with all these little mini crises and crises having crises and the crises that had that crisis is having a crises, it's going to breed more. The crime rates are going to go up. And people that would normally be resorting to those kinds of behavior are probably going to, yeah, like when the belly hits the spine, you know, I think, and the people's kids, who knows? Civilian says, the Watchman says, crazy world indeed. Chris Lucas, Fishing for Truth. How's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. So let me just say hi to everyone and get you guys on your way. All right, so Angry Conservative came in first tonight. Thank you so much for coming in. Risen Ability, I appreciate you tuning in. It's dropping in. Dr. Fish was here. Mad Militant, it's been a lifetime. Hope you're doing well. And the Smolin Watchman, thank you guys so much. And Chris Lucas, Fishing for Truth. Thank you guys so much for coming in on this segment. And yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens. And yeah, we'll get things going. We'll see. We'll reimagine some things around here, but I'll let you know what those things are. Yeah, so that they don't hit you like a ton of bricks. All right, guys. Let's see. I have a comment here. Yeah, unwind. You know, do what you need to do on this weekend, and yeah, I appreciate you guys as always. Have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend.